Ladies and gentlemen, hello, welcome to FANMEN Beyond. I'm your host, DJ Gove,
Chris Davis.
where the beaches are always open.
It is the 4th of July.
It is the 4th of July here in Massachusetts, and in Massachusetts, 4th of July means one thing and one thing only.
Amity means friendship.
Jaws, baby.
Jaws.
Jaws. This year marks the 50th anniversary of Steven Spielberg's beloved classic Jaws. Mr. Davis's here's favorite movie, I would say.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
it's probably right that or Godfather 2, depending on the day, but yeah.
We're for
It is way up there.
For sake of continuity, we're going with Jaws is his favorite.
We'll go with Jaws. We'll go with Jaws.
So Jaws is like a Massachusetts kind of like a royalty kind of.
Filmed in 74, dropped in 75.
Locally produced, locally filmed, all that stuff.
It's
Spielberg's first movie.
Spielberg's first movie, known as the first summer blockbuster.
Yeah,
it's really what kicked off.
It started the big money sucking movies in the summer.
Exactly. And for a good long time until Lucas came along, it was the biggest movie of all time.
It was, 100%. It's also the reason why I was scared to go to the toilet for about 3 years when I was a kid.
There was this adorable ad when Star Wars finally beat it of R2 fishing.
Yes.
Pulling up Bruce.
Yes.
That Spielberg threw a little.
Which he can get away with it because they're
Congratulations.
Boys. They're buddies,
too.
so they can get away with that kind of shit. So.
Yeah, exactly.
So, so obviously, like, as you can tell, we're all decked out. 50th anniversary Roosevelt Jaws shirt, hat, Amity. There's Jaws everywhere this year. Everyone from Roosevelt's to Nautica to Hey Dudes, Vineyard Vines.
Yeah, I got a pair of Hey Dudes. They inflatables.
Everyone's getting a piece of the action this year.
Big love inflatables.
Everything.
There's
Hot Wheels.
pool toys. There's hot toys. There's
Lego.
The Lego was unbelievable. The new Steelbook 4K release,
which I got
with behind the scenes. It's gorgeous. The artwork is absolutely gorgeous.
Have you watched the actual disc yet?
No, that could be happening tonight.
Yeah. So, I'm curious how the disc looks. I have found that the PlayStation 5 is a phenomenal 4K player. So that might be the play some point in time this weekend.
Yeah, I got to check that out and throw it up on the big screen and see.
So why Jaws? Like, what makes Jaws? Was it like a right place, right time thing?
I think it was a right place, right time thing. I'm very much a traditionalist, and what I love about Jaws is the simplicity. You don't need to trick it out. You didn't need to see. Now, we all know the story as to why you don't see the shark as much as you would have.
Oh yeah, I mean,
because it was always broken. But it was just a masterful job of building suspense and fear without actually scaring you. You don't see many people get killed.
You see, like,
just run through how many you got. Chrissy in the beginning.
Yep.
Right. You got Alex Kinder on the raft when they get everybody.
It's just a
back
blood
in
bag.
The water. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ben, and when you see the head in the fishing boat.
Yep.
Okay. Mm-hmm. You have when Jaws goes into the pond.
Yeah,
and takes out the guy. Yeah, and you just see the leg.
Random dude with bodyboard.
There's 4.
Okay.
And Quint.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Not
so
exactly
you're talking about
the mass spree that you'd expect.
No, it's not. They're not having to rely on all this blood and gore or anything. It's really the combination of the way Spielberg shot it, the Williams score, just to build suspense as to they found ways around it. You don't have to see the shark. You can see a shadow, or you use the barrels as a proxy for the shark.
That was, that was
things like that they had to do on a necessity, but it just worked, right?
Still should have been 3D.
That, and the fact that when they tried that later and it didn't go so well, that and the fact that the cast that you had, you're looking at a list of like 6 people.
It's
on the
funny because so obviously you went a little harder than me. You went down to Martha's Vineyard, went to the Jaws Museum, and because obviously on Cape Cod, Massachusetts, where we're up in our area, it's literally like they're slapping you in the face with rubber sharks as you walk down the street.
It's a summer-long celebration.
It's insane, and the economy for the Cape is trying to milk every penny out of every tourist they can.
The vineyard was unbelievable. We just missed the big celebration over the actual anniversary, which was June 20th, but we were on the vineyard 2 days later, 3 days later. Richard Dreyfuss had gone down. There was some guy made a replica of Chief Brody's Bronco that was just tooling around the island.
That's awesome.
A perfect replica of the Orca was sitting in Oak Bluff Harbor. It's There's videos online that you can find of Dreyfuss sitting at the table, singing the songs with the captain of the boat.
So cool.
You're completely immersed when you're down there, to the point where the local bookstore was doing autograph signings with Dreyfuss and Joe Alves, who did all the set design. Jeffrey, God, now I'm going to forget his last name. Jeffrey something. The boy who played Alex Kintner is now 70 something.
Yeah.
And was doing an autograph signing.
That's cool.
Like, I was able to get this awesome picture that they had black and white, that they'd cut the scene from the movie because the studio thought it was too gory, of Kintner like sideways in Bruce's mouth. Oh. Like, they actually had the chomp.
Yeah.
And they cut it out because they're like, no, that's too much for kids. And here's the thing. You're talking about one of the most suspenseful, and I'll call it a thriller, horror movie, whatever you want to call it, of all time. It was PG. This wasn't an R-rated movie.
Yeah, because obviously pre-PG-13, because it was pre-Temple of Doom. So
no nudity.
No nudity.
There's very little swearing. You didn't bump into the F-bomb,
there should be a lot,
right?
Yeah, they didn't F-bomb movies back then. They didn't do that back then.
You didn't have any of that stuff. No. It was really those high points around it was basically the shark attacks.
For the most part, it was either G or PG back then, right?
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of R.
Pretty much. Then. Yeah, this didn't even rise to the level of an R.
And it's funny because we had gone to you would take me to the Alamo to see it, which was great. My first Alamo experience. I loved it. I think I said to you after the thing, it's like, like as great as it is, we both admit the movie is a little thin. Like there's not a lot to it. Like you just said, there's not a lot of complex, but it's like, you had Spielberg doing his first movie, and he goes up to a guy like Robert Shaw and goes, "Hey, you're gonna be this guy." Yeah, he's like with a shark, and if he takes 10% off the friggin' throttle on that, it might not be the movie that we're celebrating 50 years later.
No, and
he's the best character in the movie by far.
Oh, Quint's by far the best character in the movie. I think that's the magic, and I think that's what sucks people in. You don't need all the bullshit that people are tied to. This, like, that's when you could tell a simple story, and 50 years
without
later,
Infinity Stones,
50 years later,
in fucking multiverses.
Yeah, exactly. You don't need all that other bullshit to keep people occupied. This terrorized people.
Oh yeah,
like people are terrified of this shit, and you're really looking at something where it's a story between three guys, right? The mayor's a bit part. He pops in and out. Yeah, the wife's a bit
he's
part.
He's a prick.
The kids are there, right? The funny thing is, Bryan Singer's production company years later, don't talk about the name, but I was doing a house rewatch, and I had completely forgotten that his production company was Bad Hat Harry. Because they have some Bad Hat Harry after every episode. It's the tentacles have gone far and wide when it comes to this thing. And it's still, you look at what's happening now, 50 years later, it's getting a re-release in all the theaters this summer. They did a recut in IMAX. Mm-hmm. It's the Boston Pops did a show. Alamo did movie parties. Mm-hmm. They're doing a whole summer-long celebration. The museum is going to be down there.
All the original merch is getting remade.
It's crazy. Right back to the 70s game, which was essentially, it's not Operation, although there is a Jaws Operation coming out that I just saw.
Yeah, it's more like the fishing game.
It's a fishing game.
Like you wind it up and
it's Bruce and everything sits in his mouth and you just start pulling stuff out.
It's like Mr. Bucket or something like that.
All of it's back. The inflatables, what are those, tubs? The little rubber duckies that they sell their characters. There's Bruce rubber duckies. The little people.
Yeah, the little people Jaws were awesome.
Those things were made.
Those are my favorite thing they made.
I actually bought that. The idea that the three characters are on the slope as Quint's sliding into Bruce's mouth.
Yeah. And it's a toddler toy.
It is. They've made this for everybody, right? So there's Narragansett dropped more skateboard decks and clothing and beer, and somebody came out with Jaws wine.
Yeah.
I think I sent you the picture of the company that was doing the candles.
We talked
Chrissy's
about the cancer too, yeah.
Chrissy's last swim, and it's just an ocean-colored candle with blood swirls and a shark in it.
It's crazy. It as a collector, the amount of merch you've had for Jaws makes me terrified for 2027 when the 50th anniversary of Star Wars hits.
Oh my God. And this is something that I used to grab pieces here and there, like Funko did the Jaws deck.
Yeah.
I had little stuff from Jaws. Obviously big enough fan to get the pinball machine when it dropped last year. But I'm having to throttle back to make sure, like, you can't buy all of the
if
t-shirts.
You have to throttle back. I am
you can't buy
fucking pork, man. It's like I'm screwed.
They came out with stupidest thing, and I actually ran out to Walmart, which I'm very rarely at Walmart. They came out with a Jaws Zen garden, and it's about yay big.
Yeah.
Just have the little rake, and you can rake around Bruce. And
yeah, I was kind of looking forward. I wanted Jaws Crocs. I haven't seen those yet, though.
I haven't seen those. Sperry Topsider They came out with a whole line of Jaws.
I'm not a big conspiracy guy. The Hey Dudes, I wish I got. I missed
The
those.
dudes were amazing.
And they're gone.
I wore those on the island.
They're all gone already. So I get a bunch of the Roosevelt stuff. I don't go as hard as you, obviously. Like I obviously, as a movie fan,
Picked up some of the golf stuff the other day.
Oh yeah, they're gone.
I didn't get any of the shirts. I did get the putter cover.
You had to get one of the ball markers.
I got the shark teeth.
Okay,
with Jaws
I like,
in the middle.
I like the ice cream bar one.
I got that, and I ended up grabbing the map of Amity.
Okay, yeah, that's cool.
But Mondo did a release. They re-released come to find out after I order, now I started looking at the release dates. Like, I don't think the soundtrack drops until August. The smaller, like 7-inch, 8-inch with the teeth marks, the bite taken out of it, doesn't drop until like October. And the poster's like January of 26.
Yeah, that's Mondo for you.
The Prince.
I'm waiting on an Evelyn figure for about 6 months.
Yeah. But it's every way you turn, there was something else Jaws related pop up in the last few weeks.
That's cool. Yeah, I got to find a pair of the Hey Dudes because I really do like the Hey Dudes. I like those. Those are nice. But yeah,
I live in those things now. I've turned into a complete old man. They're comfortable.
I'm dressed for work.
I don't have to wear socks. So
yeah, so it's been an excellent start. And you went into summer movie season too with the original summer movie.
And arguably, it's been one of the bigger ones that's popped. Like, more people have been talking about Jaws lately. Yeah. Lilo's made more money, but I've heard more buzz about some of the Jaws stuff going on and it could be where we live.
It is. I think it's a big shock of it. Yeah. People in Missouri probably don't give a shit.
But yeah, like Mission Impossible came and went with a whimper up here.
No one cared.
We're going to talk about, we went to see Ballerina.
Yeah.
Even Ballerina, it's approaching 150 now, but that's already on video.
Yeah. Quick.
You can get that on Apple TV now. I might watch that again tonight.
Yeah, but Jaws just keeps the gift that keeps on giving, right?
That is one, and I know we've talked about this on previous pods. It's between that and The Godfather as to which movie I've bought the most versions of. I've had it on VHS. I had the anniversary VHSs, DVD, Blu-ray, every anniversary Blu-ray when it dropped on 4K. Obviously a steelbook. Yep. It's one of those. I can hear my dad's voice in the back of my head saying, "Why the hell do you need another copy of it?" Because this one looks prettier.
Yeah, no, I had DVD, Blu-ray, but it was like the simple Blu-ray, like the one that was like $5 or whatever. Nothing, no extra stuff on it, just to have it.
You can find it like the bin at Walmart.
Yeah, just to have it on the shelf. But when you show me the 4K, I hopped on that quick.
Oh my god!
Good thing I did too, because that thing sold out, and it is expensive on the secondary market right now.
Yeah.
It's like
you can find it, but it's pricey.
It's like $85.
And we got it for like $35 off Amazon.
$33.97 or something. Yeah, I'm not paying $5 for a movie. That's 50 years old. I can't do it. So
that was crazy.
No, but the steelbook looks nice and all that stuff. That's really a movie anniversaries. I kind of go steelbook and like a shirt or something. So
and it looks like with the release it's going to be coming in August because they're going to be building this for another 2 months. Like, you just got the email that you sent me yesterday that it's coming back out on IMAX. It's Regal dropped a thing. The popcorn buckets are coming back and the cups are coming back, and which of course right after I bought one of those Amity signed popcorn buckets off eBay. Yeah. Got it for like $35, so I'm not going to complain. It's like a $5 swing. It's exactly. It wasn't that much. Didn't have to pay for shipping, so whatever. But that's going to come back. The barrel mugs. I did get one of the 50th 3D glasses. They randomly had that. So when I took the girls to the Vineyard, they were doing screenings of Jaws at the little theater in Edgartown.
Oh, nice.
Like right next to where the hardware store was and all that downtown area. So we went to see it there, and I was able to snag one of the glasses there. Oh, that's cool. So it was kind of cool to be able to go see it on the island as everything else was going on. It's funny. So the last 2 episodes we did, we talked about our summer vacation. I didn't even talk about it. Were you able to get the Sipper Cup? The Jaws Sipper Cup? At Universal? No, we were not able to get that. So what they did is the majority of them were in the park itself. Yep. So they only put out like 15 or 20 on a card each morning. And people would go into City Walk and wipe it out. And now it's one of those things. It's $110 on eBay. I'm not spending that for a Sipper. No, it's fucking stupid. No. But if you're a fan of it, if you're anywhere near the area, the Martha's Vineyard Museum has an exhibit going on. I drove DJ nuts just sending him pictures as I walked from room to room to room, where they actually have like the life-size shark cage. They have a life-size Bruce head that you can go stick your head in and take pictures. That's cool. The original artwork, pages from the scripts, pictures that like a lot of the Joe House original storyboards and design artwork. And it was a cheap ticket. They have the Amity sign out in front of the museum to be able to sit there and pose and take pictures, and excellent take. It was just very cool watching. All the stores are into it. People did jewelry. One place actually did, it looks like your Massachusetts town signs, and you could get like the charm or necklace entering Amity Island. Like it's,
I was waiting for I was waiting for some Pandora beats to show up. I was surprised I haven't seen those yet. I figured
it wouldn't shock me. Yeah.
It's gotta be, I mean, there's gonna be more stuff coming.
There's some local jewelers down there that had done some deals that were doing some stuff.
Yeah, some little stuff.
Like there's some artists down there, and the gallery was closed when we were there, that have done like people that have gone and taken pictures or had original, kind of like the Kevin stuff that we saw from the Morrison Hotel show, where they have shots, the original black and whites of like Quinn's shack and stuff like some of those things. There's artists that have done paintings. There's sharks all over the island. They did this they had people design their own sharks, and they show up in like random parks. There's like 50 of them all over the place.
That's cool. And you just said like there's like actual sharks all over the island too.
I just saw that today. Like the Cape is infested this year.
Yeah.
The Cape's surrounded.
So even our aquatic friends off the coast of Massachusetts are very excited for their boy's 50th anniversary.
Everybody is celebrating this.
Everyone's here for the party. So, so as you know, again, like you said, Jaws was the original summer blockbuster movie. We are right in it's 4th of July weekend, so we're right in the middle of summer movie season. It's been a little uneventful.
There hasn't been much to pull you to the theaters.
There hasn't. I mean, Lilo and Stitch is going to limp to $1 billion as we predicted.
It's still creeping. Yeah, it was at, I think a couple weeks ago when we were talking, it was like high 800s.
It's at like 985 now. So
they'll leave it there until it hits.
Yeah, it's a spit and a fart away from $1 billion. So that's going to happen.
No question.
Obviously, we knew it wasn't going to make $1 billion. Like I said, Ballerina topped out about 150 because it's a niche thing, right? It was average. I guess I didn't advertise it poorly. It was a John Wick movie that people I think stayed away from because they didn't think there was going to be a lot of John Wick in it. Even I was vastly surprised by the amount of Wick in it.
I wasn't expecting to see him as much as I did.
Oh, he's in there quite a bit, and it was a delightful action movie. Great action movie.
I enjoyed the hell out of it. It was exactly what I expected from it.
I saw it twice.
I mean, you had all the key elements from the Wick movies, including John.
John Wick, pretty girl, gun.
You had Winston.
Yeah.
You had the Roscoe Rama. You have, you got the last.
Okay, Houston, all the players were there.
Yeah, you got the last on-screen appearance of Sharon.
And like the way they did the timeline, it was kind of cool the way they did it. So I like that one. There was, like you said, Mission Impossible, I think topped out around like 485 or something like that.
Let me see. I will pull it up right now. I'm actually looking to see where we are here. Yeah, Mission Impossible didn't crack your top 5 here. Mission Impossible is 7th overall for the year so far. 188 worldwide.
Okay.
So
yeah, and that
that's below How to Train Your Dragon. That's below Captain America: Brave New World.
Which is shocking because that movie sucked.
Mission Impossible is still trying to catch the Thunderbolts.
That's fucking.
It's within like 2 million. So if they leave it hanging for the holiday weekend and stuff, they're going to clear it.
Yeah.
You would have thought that would have cruised by.
Yeah. So all those. So I mean, obviously the saturated month was July, right? So Thunderbolts was like beginning of May. Lilo and Stitch was June. So
June. Ballerina was the very beginning of June.
Yeah.
June
so
5th,
so
June
July's
6th.
the big month, right? So we just had yesterday the new Jurassic World movie came out, where again it's like my description of that was you had 2 guys in a room, executives, and one guy's like, "Hey, how do we make Jurassic World better?" And the guy just rips a giant line of coke and goes, "Replace the dude Avenger with the girl Avenger and do the exact same shit."
That's it.
And that's all it is. And I hear, for what it's worth, the movie's absolutely fucking horrible.
Everybody's saying it. Yeah. They say the one redeeming quality is like the nicest review I read is Scarlett looks amazing.
She does. And
beyond there's nothing.
No, it's morons go to island for they get tricked to going to island for a different reason, and they end up fighting dinosaurs. And there's a stupid fucking kid who ruins everything and gets in the way.
It's essentially, I don't know. I understand doing like if you can get Scarlett Johansson to say yes, and you got the budget. Yeah, you have built-in IP and do the whole thing, but we're getting close to like the why.
Yeah,
like how many of these are we?
I guess there are some scarier moments, which, because the original Jurassic Park movie, granted, I was a kid when it came out. It was a scary movie. It was,
sure.
There were times where you're like, that's a real fucking dinosaur. Holy shit. Yeah. So there are some scarier moments, like in the trailer, like when the guy's crying, please don't like, please open the door. And that was fucking crazy,
Yeah,
right?
most definitely.
But I heard but from what I hear is once you get into the meat of it, the new mutant dinosaur is the dumbest fucking thing you've ever seen in your life.
That one doesn't do like, it'll pop up on streaming before the end of the summer. I'll watch it at home.
We'll probably go discount Tuesday because I'm like such a dinosaur head, but like it's not good. So there's no danger in that one making any kind of real money.
No, that one. I mean, we have F1 just opened last week,
which I think is going to do good. Considering it's. I mean, it might be Jurassic Park, but like obviously Brad Pitt, big movie star, but it's the guy who did Maverick. So I hear if you're a film fan, the filmography is supposed to be amazing, even though you might not be into the subject matter as much. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
That's a good way of putting
it. Yeah, it's supposed to be visually stunning.
I mean, right, and from what I hear, obviously I haven't seen it yet, because I just don't have time.
We're a week into it now, and in its first week, it did 167 million worldwide.
That's good. That's good for a movie like that.
That's up. That's through.
I mean, Italy probably eat that.
That's only through the second.
Yeah.
So you still have the holiday weekend.
From what I hear, it's already like, if you're another movie, forget it. It's winning the Oscar for best sound mixing. Just fucking pack your shit up and go home. There's no way.
I heard the editing Oscars are going to be.
There's no fucking way you're touching it.
Apple spent all the money on this movie.
Yeah. So, I mean, I do want to see it. It's just, again, it's one of those things where it's like, I want to see it, but fuck, I have to find time to go see it. And it's just like, there's no time.
It's a 3-hour movie.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Mission Impossible hasn't. I like those movies. I want to check the box and just finish the run. It's 3 hours. I haven't had a chunk of time to go.
Yeah.
So,
but one thing we do have a chunk of time to go see is the Big Daddy, the big gun, the boy in blue.
Please be good.
Oh fuck! It's Superman week. Superman. We have preview screenings this week coming up because we're special, and we're very excited to go see Superman before it comes out, and I cannot wait. We won't be able to talk about it right away because there is an embargo until like the night of the 8th, like midnight on the 9th, I think, is when we can actually do an episode. Okay. But you're dipping out of town, so we're not gonna be able to get one done until you get back.
Yeah, but I'll bring the laptop. We can
figure something out. Or maybe we can record it in the car or something on the way back from the theater or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can pack that.
Watch fresh. Someone, I guess, already quote unquote broke their embargo and did a review on it, but I don't believe this person actually saw the movie because they're like,
is this the thing that was like there's some Green Lantern leaks and
no, it's more like some fucking like Marvel knob slobbing dick. Oh, it's fucking horrible. It's like, dude, fuck you. There's no way this movie's horrible. There's no way.
When's the last time Gunn missed?
Because so he's shown like clips of it to people. No one's seen the movie in full yet until they just did the London and the LA or whatever.
Yeah, London just happened last night, 2 days ago.
I didn't even open my fucking crypto book to see if I won the fucking contest. I guess supposedly that
mine's still sitting at the hall. I never picked it up.
I read a thing that I don't think anyone actually claimed winning. Everyone kept it in the polybag, thinks maybe worth money or something. There's not. They printed 25 million of them. It's not worth anything. So someone gave up a free vacation to LA to see a movie, but
yeah, rip that thing open, Jesus.
It's too late now. I think it's already happened, right? Everyone who supposedly he's shown parts to is like, yeah, no, it's what DC fans wanted. Snyder did his own thing, right? Snyder did the dark shit. Good for him. I like the Snyderverse. I'm not
so did I.
I'm not online like in my sweatpants hooting and hollering for it to keep going for Christ's sakes because it had its run.
I would have been perfectly happy if it did. I wouldn't have had a problem.
As long as they killed Ezra Miller off, because that guy's a prick. But like, if they kept like Batfleck going or whatever. But from what I hear,
ironically enough, he's the only one that continued on.
I know, seriously, it's lighter, it's brighter, it's more, it's hopeful, it's golden age comics, silver age comics at its absolute finest. With obviously there's story elements from the New 52 and from Rebirth and All Star and the more but it very much has like that George Reeves kind of like silver age kind of like gooberish to it, which is what comic books are. You don't need to make that's grounded in reality. He's a fucking alien who can throw buildings.
It's going to be interesting because Superman, they always say he's the hardest nut to crack.
He is.
How do you write for somebody that's all powerful?
He's a cheat code.
He's
the cheat code.
It is so hard to create any real stakes for that character.
Yeah.
So I'm dying to see what he does with it, but we've been talking about this since they announced it. I mean, all my faith is in Gunn because the guy hasn't missed.
Yeah, because you don't really know. Like, Cornside, I never seen him do anything. I don't even know what the hell he's in.
No, it's. I mean, I like what I've seen. I like the cast that he put together.
He looks the part.
Oh my God, he totally
I hear Nicholas Hoult kills it.
Nicholas Holt's a great actor.
He is a good actor. He's really good.
It looks like the images that you've seen of the fortress and all that. Everybody nails Metropolis. I mean, you can do the Daily Planet and
Yeah, it's
the city. That's not bad. But the fortress looks like something out of our childhood.
Yeah.
But unlike what we saw in the movies where you didn't bring in some of the comic elements, they're bringing in all the other elements of the fortress with the guard robots and all. And
They went with the goofy ass golden age thing where Superman has hypnotic glasses. That's how no one can tell he's Clark Kent Superman.
Yeah.
Because the glasses hypnotize you so you can't see what his face looks like.
Great. I love it.
Fuck yes. The only thing he's missing is like fucking like Alfred E. Newman. It's like the head on his body. It's
Sometimes it's just the simple shit, though. That makes sense. Like the extra guys, when you gave Affleck a freaking voice modulator.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you? So, I don't have to walk around talking like this. I mean, come on. It's so easy.
Give him a neck, baby.
And it's so... No, I cannot wait. You're going to see it before me on Monday.
Yep.
Can't wait to go on Tuesday. That one's what, a Prime screening?
That's the Prime. Yeah, you're going to the Prime. Yeah, I'm going to the media screening. You can't make it, so you're going to the Prime one.
Yep. And then
it
I see opens wide on what, Thursday night?
Thursday night at like 9 or whatever. So yeah, dude, I'm so excited. I think it's like, and obviously I'm predisposed to like it, but I mean, I think as long as you give me like a kind of goofy, kind of like, like pure Superman. Granted, I love Cavill. Dude, I
Cavill's great.
Not to switch teams, but I would watch Henry Cavill take a bath for Christ's sake. The man can do no wrong, in my opinion. I've done it on Netflix actually twice.
You watched? You were in the bath while he was. Oh,
well, no,
watched him take a bath.
He takes a bath. It's just. I mean, it's just.
He still has my favorite moment in pretty much any fight scene in a movie, in that stupid Mission Impossible.
The arm cock, so arm
and
warm
he just cocks the arms. It's like,
all because his shoulder was stiffening up because they did the thing like 16 times.
That's it. We're just like we're cocking guns.
Yep.
That's it. The jacket comes off. We're just gonna cock both arms. All right, let's go.
Yep. I mean, I've like they always. Awesome. I've been trying my goddamnest not to watch any of this stuff, right? Because I don't want to know. I just want to be surprised.
I've stayed away. I haven't even watched any of the clips that have come out. I've tried to.
Yeah, but there was one where it's like he's talking to Luthor and he's in Luthor's office. He's like,
oh, I saw.
Stop it. He's like, now. I want it now. And Luthor's like, oh, and he gets pissed and he throws the desk. He's, give me the dog. And I'm like, oh shit, he is. So
that's when he breaks down the door. That just dropped like last week.
Yeah. It's like, so you're going to get every angle. Like you're going to, like Superman, the animated, like it's
going to be fun to see some of these elements come together too. Cause we saw the stills going back 6 months, 8 months.
Yeah, it's been a while.
People trying to figure out what the light show was as as Superman and Lois are kissing.
Is it Starro? No, it's not Starro.
It's that whole thing.
Yeah.
Why the hell is he sitting there putting on his boots? Like,
I mean, I think it's
one shots that things going on in the background.
I mean, if you also Superman, doesn't he have like the pet sun eater that takes out the robotic sun?
It's the possibilities are just about endless.
Honestly, I would not. I take that back. I will bet you $5 once that scene happens. There's actually nothing in the background. It's probably not even fucking there.
It's probably something he was just fucking with you.
Yeah.
But it could literally be anything because Gunn loves going deep cuts.
He does. Which
look
again,
at your Suicide Squad. Look at your Guardians. Look at all that.
Which again, why we're so hopeful that we're going to get all our stuff.
Peacemaker.
I know.
We're getting a
Mr. Miracle in Barda adult animated series from the guys who did Harley Quinn.
That's amazing.
Like,
I love those two characters.
Oh my God, I love Mr. Miracle. And McFarlane's got a figure coming out. Oh my God. Did
Superman have an affair with Barda at one point?
Wasn't
there something?
Not an affair, but they were together for a little bit.
They were together for a little?
Yeah, there was a thing. Because I remember like even I think it was Just League Unlimited, they kind of mentioned it. They go over Bart because
I vaguely remember reading it in the storyline.
Yeah, he had a thing. I mean, Barda's a bad bitch, man. Barda's awesome. God, give me Barda in a movie.
But I love Mr. Miracle.
Me too.
That character in.
All those characters, all the New Gods characters. So, again, I mean, we'll talk about this in a minute. Just the DC roster, it's so much deeper than Marvel's.
Marvel gets thin really quick.
It gets thin really quick, almost like, well, wait a minute, right?
Give it a second, yeah.
It'll give us yeah, no, Marvel gets thin and DC just keeps going and going and going. And it's...
I mean, people argue the fact too. DC's big three. Mm-hmm. Who's your Marvel big three? Who's competing with those three in your
Comic or movie?
I'm going comic because movie
people be like, oh, yeah. Spider-Man. I hate to break it to you. Iron Man was basically canceled 2 or 3 times. Iron Man's book sales since creation have been horrible.
I loved Iron Man, but that's always one that I follow because even when I was collecting hardcore, it was attainable because it was affordable. You could always find those books. They were that's something. It was easy to complete runs.
So here's the thing, right? So Superman's DC's big three is Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman.
Mm-hmm.
Then after
the Holy
that,
Trinity.
Yeah. Then after that, you can go like Green Lantern, Swamp Thing, Flash, right? And then you can go Dr. Fate, Mr. Miracle, blah, blah,
I was going to say.
And then when you get like 5 or 6 tiers down, you're still doing Booster Gold, Blue Beetle, Plastic Man, and then you're going another tier down, and now you're going Justice League Dark, New Gods, etc., right? Marvel's big three, it starts with the teams. It's X-Men, it's Spider-Man,
Avengers.
and it's probably the Avengers, right? The original Avengers.
Fantastic Four used to be
none of the 16-year-old chick with the bow and arrow bullshit, right? So Marvel, you have to have the full original teams, because once you get into tier 2, I mean, yeah, you have Daredevil and Punisher, which have been very successful for them in their live action medium. Then it falls off a fucking cliff, and you end up with shit like fucking Ironheart.
Well, you have to do Daredevil and Punisher as a TV show. That's not gonna.
No, it's not a movie. It's not a movie.
You can't. It's not.
No.
Not for what it's going to cost. You're not going to draw the people for that character.
And there's no need to.
No.
There's no need to, because they're not cloud and sky gets shot with laser or hammer thrown at it. It's long drawn out crime kind of stuff.
Is it only me that's hopeful that it's truly like a Superman versus Lex kind of a thing here? We don't have to worry about big bad from the sky.
No, I mean, I think the kaiju stuff and all this other stuff you see in the trailers and they have toys for, I think that's all part of the equation.
I think it's part of the Lex of it all.
It's chess pieces that Lex has put in front of himself.
Yes.
But the whole thing is going to be Superman versus Lex. It's always been Superman versus Lex.
You did how many seasons of Smallville? 10? 11?
Yeah.
Based off of that relationship.
Yeah.
Before he flew.
Yeah. Yeah.
No tights, no flights.
He had a jacket.
That's it. He had a red jacket.
No, DC Comics has always been Superman versus Lex.
You keep it simple. You don't need the rest of it.
No. And again, but obviously, like, Lex is just a person. You have to put stuff in front of him. So that's why there is the kaiju
super
and
smart, super
Metamorpho
rich.
And what it looks like to be Hel-El from New 52 and possibly Parasite.
It does look like that, yeah.
There's some stuff before. And again, but you don't know if Hel-El is hell. There's a fucking apostrophe there or whatever. You don't know, like, people are like, oh, that's what Ultraman. No, I don't think that's what Ultraman. I think that's just another thing in this big, like, 13 Ghost style warehouse that he has. And it's Gunn grabbing all the weird, goofy shit to throw in his universe.
That's it. He's a student of the game.
It is.
Which has me very excited to actually see where they go. So
yeah, and if you're one of these people that are gonna, like, yeah, because people are already shitting on it, and obviously I get defensive of the DC stuff. It's like, you're the same people who thought this like fucking Ironheart show was good, or that fucking The Last Captain America was good, when it was complete and utter pieces of dog shit. So let's get into Ironheart.
Let's dive in.
Ironheart review.
You've been dying.
By the way, as Superman's box office comes in week to week, we are going to have a meter. I'm going to I'll put the graphic up on the episode, and I might even put it on Instagram, where we're going to keep track of every MCU movie since Endgame that Superman puts in a fucking body bag. It's been rough. Because just in pre-sale tickets, it's already past the Marvels. So I just want all you MCU fanboys to,
I mean, it only has to hit
pop that in your mouth.
201 million to be the latest cap.
Yep.
That's not going to
sucked.
Thunderbolts came in at 189.
I mean, we're going to Superman's run is going to end up, you can start adding shit together.
By the end of July.
I think Superman does. I think we're going north of 7 for the year, for the year.
Oh, I would think
so. It's not going to hit a bill, because I think superhero fatigue is real, and I don't think it's going to happen. But I think once
you're going to lose a little with the Fantastic Four audience, but if that movie's not good,
I don't think it's going to be good.
It's here. We were talking about this a little off camera before we started. So,
and I'm like 4 drinks deep. So.
being there at San Diego last year, right? They flew a fucking car in Hall H. They showed you the Fantastic car, and everybody collectively yawned, because the only thing they cared about was, oh, we're getting one of our original toys back, kind of, sort of.
Yeah, because
they don't care about the new stuff.
Here's what they can do: like out of the Fantastic Four, the thing I probably give 2 fucks the least about is the Fantastic car. Like, I don't think they even have that in the modern books. I mean, they didn't have it in the Ultimates. I mean,
it was in the old stuff.
I stopped reading that shit forever ago, but I care about shit like, why does the thing have a beard? Why is she pregnant already?
Mm-hmm. Why are we rushing to Franklin?
Why are we rushing to Franklin? And why is Robert Downey, Kevin Feige needs to go away. He's run his course. But anyway, Ironheart finished up on Disney Plus this week. Ironheart, the episodical show of Riri Williams.
Riri Williams.
One of the, the Marvel's next tier of heroes because they refused to recast Captain America and shit like that with the
beneficiary of
Steve
one
Rogers.
of the Stark fellowships or whatever.
Yeah.
Not a scholarship.
Yeah, and also like a giant pile of Wakanda nuts and bolts like everyone else in this fucking universe.
Got to tie it all back to vibranium.
Has to, right? She debuted in that god-awful Wakanda Forever movie. That movie was, again, horrible. A string of many, probably, what are we up to? 8 complete pieces of shit from Marvel now?
Yeah. Wakanda Forever is one of the few that I give them a full pass because circumstances. That was a tough spot.
You still turn Namor into like a fucking
you didn't need to see
gay Mayan or something like that. That was horrible.
I would have saved that character for Fantastic Four. That's where I tie him into.
No shit. Not Black fucking Panther.
No.
Just have her fight him Baku for the fucking throne or something.
It seemed weird to kind of shoehorn him in there, where that's a Fantastic Four villain.
So, and that's going to go to this, where now you're at the point where you're just literally just dropping characters in just to have them on the board to move to do something with them later on.
And that's what you see in Ironheart.
Yeah, granted, even though there is some ties a little bit, but okay, so Ironheart debuted what 2011, something like that.
Riri's first appearance?
I'd even look it up because I just don't give a shit.
I'll take a look. Keep talking.
So, this is a character whose book has been canceled 3 times. Has never... So, like, if you're a wrestling fan, you're a pro wrestling fan, there used to always be this, like, this thing about, like, say, like, Jeff Jarrett, where, he'd come in and he'd have all this pyro and he'd break 1,000,000 guitars, and at the end of the day, the house was negative $6,000 in guitar fees because the guy never drew a dime. Ironheart has never drawn a dime, and they gave her her own fucking TV show.
Yeah, it's very much more of your connective tissue. She debuted in 2016.
Okay, 16. Now the character in the books was tied to Iron Man, like Stark's in the books and
Invincible Iron Man
Stark's,
#9.
Yeah, Stark's the AI, all this stuff, right? So obviously Tony's dead in this world, whatever. So they had to navigate around that. That's fine. I'll give him a pass and all that. That's not a big deal for the most part, right? Yeah. So, and speaking of Iron Man, I'm going to get this out of the way. Fucking Robert Downey Jr. can shut the fuck up. Where if you don't like the show, you're a racist. You're a fucking racist scumbag, basically. When you make $65 million a fucking movie, just stay off the fuck. Stop telling people how the fuck to think. Take your money and fuck off. And I love Red Energy, but it's getting ridiculous.
Playing the race card was kind of harsh.
The Marvel, whose empire was built on the backs of fat men in sweatpants like myself, to now let's start preaching like politics and ideology.
You guys definitely got the ball rolling.
Yeah,
it was as soon as you brought the soccer moms and the kids in.
Oh yeah,
that it turned into capital M. MCU.
Yeah. But you wouldn't even had movies if at some point in time, like if the books fucking died in the 50s, we're not making movies in 1999.
The craziest part about it is that Iron Man kicked this whole thing off. And that book was essentially dead when that came out.
It was dead because even like right after the Leighton run, he fucking died out again. The Leighton run brought him back from like the kind of like the dead.
You kept rebooting and
yeah, because unless you're doing like
they went back to
demon angle,
late 70s, early 80s.
Yeah,
Obadiah and the whole thing,
and all that shit sucks. And we're getting that minute.
Right, that's what I wish they had done, the demon angle.
Yeah,
as opposed to like the reboot the little kid. There's parts that I like, but
this movie sucked.
You didn't need to go to Prometheus and all that.
But. No. But yeah, so anyways, this Ironheart show comes out, and the whole thing is. Character aside, right? Even if this is Ironheart is not a very good, I'm not going to say stupid. I like to call things stupid because I have a not a very good vocabulary and I'm mouthy, right? It's a horribly boring, lazy character in text, right? On paper that you dropped in the middle of what seemed to be unorganized, convoluted mess of a TV show. That's
really the biggest pet peeve there, right? So I can trace the roots of the character. I understand all the connective tissue you did with Tony.
And I'm sorry not to cut you. I apologize. To cut you. Before we get into so it sounds like, oh, no, white guy took a bit of
yeah, no,
I understand fully. This character is not I'm not the target demographic. It's not for me. right?
Yeah, no.
They're not. They don't need me to like it, right? Well, just so that's if that's their thought, right? However, I am a comic book fan. I have been an MCU supporter, so I still do have an opinion on it, even though I understand like it's not for me.
I will say, and I made that comment before, it worked incredibly well for my daughter. She came in as I was binging it to get ready for this episode, and she's like, her exact words were, "How can DJ not like it? It's so cute."
My daughter thought it absolutely sucked.
Cute.
My daughter thought it was trash.
But your daughter's hardcore old school MCU.
This
is a 16-year-old.
She's hardcore. She's hardcore DC.
It's
in
so,
old MCU. Yeah.
This is
she's burnt. My daughter, who I raised as a full-blown comic book fan, like the whole nine, like Wolverine posters. She's burnt on this shit. She's totally burnt.
They keep pumping them out. That's my only fear with Superman, that if the movie could be good and you could still get to a situation where it doesn't make the numbers that you think it should, just because people are so burnt out on this shit.
Yeah, at least with Superman, you don't have to know all this other stuff and watch all these TV shows and chase all these fucking rabbits down a well to get to it.
That's the thing. So my biggest, I don't go as hard on Ironheart as you do. I'm more indifferent. Okay. There were definitely themes like, okay, I get it. You're sending her back to Chicago. Like, I knew the general backstory.
Yeah.
She was a student at MIT, the whole thing, getting Stark money. Great, all of that. But then it just kind of devolves into, we really need to get to the big bad reveal. So let's backtrack and create 3.5 hours of TV. Like, we have the intro scene. She gets home. And then we need to fill these other 4 episodes so we can get to the reveal at the end. Because that's really what we need out of this show is.
Yeah. So, and so like, and you get into, and the other thing too, it's kind of like a bad look for, if they're trying to help for, push it towards the kids or whatever. The character, like the way they portray in the book,
not a kid,
she's a fucking asshole.
She's a little dick, yeah.
She's a prick.
She's dealing with some shit.
She's horrible, right? So you obviously, we're talking like you have an F tier character. So of course it makes sense you're going to burn an F tier villain, right? So you use the Hood, a completely shitty fucking character. Granted, like one of the newer ones, like they just did Sentry, that Jowie created back like in 01. I think the Hood was like in 04, 06 or something like that. Yep. So a newer bad guy. They skip over his entire initial origin because the character's so bad that within the first 15 years, they've already had to completely change his entire power set. And
you really don't get the backstory until the last episode.
No, and it's not his backstory. So they kind of so in the books he gets the powers from Dormammu, and they kind of joke about Dormammu a little bit.
Yes,
they kind of do that, but they've already done Dormammu, so you have to kick that can down the road. So they go the route that like the the rebirth version or whatever.
Where they're cleaning his asshole.
Yeah,
that actually made me laugh.
It was pretty good. We'll get to that because I do. So, but you go through all this stuff. I'm just gonna get into this. So here's.
Oh, you got a list. I love it.
I do have a list. So again, 5 hours of my life I'll never get back, and it is all just basically this whole thing was made. So it lays off with a cliffhanger, right? That will never pay off because the show's already been canceled. They're not doing more of the show.
No, in my mind, they did it for 2 reasons. One, because they're still thinking about Young Avengers, and you need a Iron Man in Young Avengers. So there's your Ironheart.
Yeah, but now she's a bad guy, basically. So it's
well, you can already see where the redemption arc is going to come there.
Fuck that.
And it's to get to, and I don't want to step on you.
And you want to get to the big bad guy. The big bad guy for a completely different character. So
they've floated that out. Shit, he was a big bad in Guardians at one point.
I know. So here you go. So here's all my gripes with Ironheart. Right. Mm-hmm. Number one, we said before, it's a horrible show structurally based off an absolutely horrible comic book. Okay. So long story short, didn't need to be made, right? Like just fucking burnt a fucking
connective tissue. Yeah,
connective tissue, just burn money, right? The number two, the big thing about Ironheart was its ties to Stark, and they basically spend the little they mention him in the show shitting on Stark. Basically just taking a piss on his legacy.
It's interesting.
They saved the fucking planet 5 times and all this shit. Paid for her to fucking go to school.
They very much lean into
the fuck out
the
of him all
Stark
the time.
and Stain of it all.
Yeah. So for that,
I love the retcon of Stain as a hero. He died a hero.
Oh, we'll get there. So as far as like not using the proper Stark ties from, even if I understand he's dead in the universe, he's supposed to be her AI program. But you could have you have to build a statue of him, but at least acknowledge the fact that again, you should. The guy snapped his fingers and died, so Thanos went away. So none of these people would even be fucking alive. So for that, kiss my ass, right? Okay. Then I have a couple little digs. Number one, episode 2. So there's a character in this show called Slug. Yep. Now, I won't even give a shit that the character Slug in the show is absolutely fucking nothing like the character Slug in the books. Not even close. They went from a 600-pound, like, blob kind of character to, like, a guy in makeup. I don't even give a fuck about that, right? That's not my problem. This actor, whatever the term, this performer is playing an elite hacker. Starting in episode 2, if you pay attention, every time this motherfucker's on a keyboard, they're not even typing. They're just slamming their fucking hand on the fucking thing. They're not even typing letters.
That's funny.
So way to phone it in.
I didn't try to... That one I didn't tie back to the actual character. I just kind of took that as a
That pissed me. As someone who types all day for a living, I was like...
Oh, the typing thing? Yeah.
Can you just pretend to fucking type on the keyboard? It just goes to show...
How are you going to type with those nails?
Hunt and peck. I see secretaries all the time. But it just goes to... that is just like the magnifying glass of how fucking lazy everything in this show is, right? Again, everyone just took their money and fucking bolted on this thing.
And it's interesting because they spent money on the hood. Like, Ramos didn't come cheap.
I'm sure not, because he's coming off that Hamilton run.
Coming off that Hamilton run and everything else he's done, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure that cost.
This is a gripe and saving grace, I guess.
Take notes, kids.
Ezekiel Stain.
Yes.
Obadiah's kid. Number one, they went right back to the fucking sun trope, which, as everyone who's listened to the last 7 years, I get pissed off about. But I'll give them credit for not turning the son into a daughter.
Yeah, no.
At least they didn't gender swap the fucking kid, right?
That's true.
But going into that now, so anyone doesn't know, Obadiah Stane, who dies in Iron Man 1, because, Flynn.
Big bad.
His son, Modern Monger, they call him in the books, I think it is.
Is that what his title is?
Something like that. He ends up having all this like stolen tech from his dad and shit like that.
It's all of dad shit.
And they did the right thing, that he basically, he augments his body. So instead of having a suit like every other asshole that fights Iron Man, he is a suit, right? I get it. Kind of like a little bit of playing like the extremist kind of thing.
A little bit, yeah.
It
was an that twist, at least, like, all right, that's kind of interesting.
Okay, yeah. So, but again, at least it wasn't his fucking daughter, right?
Very true.
But on that, now you had 3 bad guys shoved into this horrible show based off a horrible character. Gag me with a fucking spoon. That's just way too much going on, right? On top of that, the way that they tied the Ezekiel Stain to having to work for the Hood was dumb as fuck. That's not how shit works. You don't have to be like, oh, I'm putting my name on the screen. Now I can tell you what to do. Get the fuck out of here, right? Get fucked. And then also...
They kind of use the Stain character as the Stark proxy, because Riri needs tech. Riri needs money.
Exactly.
She doesn't have...
Yeah.
That's her inroad back to being able to redo her suit.
Yeah. It's like her Q from James Bond.
Yeah. Yeah, essentially.
But again, she completely fucks the guy over, which ends up having to like dare into the fucking bad guy in the first place. Because again, Riri Williams is a horrible fucking person.
And you had biometrics and everything, but he leaves the key under the mat. Yeah. That bugged me. That like...
Again...
You got to hack your way into that.
Everybody cash their paycheck and yawn on this fucking thing.
Billions of dollars in tech behind that door. And you just left a key?
Yeah.
Okay.
The ending was absolutely stupid, right? We talked about like the setup, which we're going to get to in a minute for... God, I hope they don't fucking try to drag her ass into fucking Secret Wars and shit, but...
I don't see how they can't. It's going to...
They conveniently... So I understand this is from the book, so I'm not going to give them too much. The mixing of the tech and the magic stuff pissed me off a little bit because it was just too much going on. I understand that's how it was in the book. But the fact that she just conveniently, her mom happens to have a best friend who owns a crystal shop down the street, whose daughter basically goes
have
to
a candy store.
Yeah. So and I know what they're fucking doing. They're trying to set up Strange Academy with this girl. Has to be.
Yeah.
But immediately like, fuck, I can't pronounce, what the fuck's the town from Doctor Strange? Namaparu or whatever the fuck it is.
Oh yeah. Yeah. She
goes there.
The kid back,
she goes there to summer camp and shit. It's like, fucking get the fuck out of here, right?
Can't live there, but she can summer.
But you had to have it right down the street in Chicago, right? Right next to the garage, there's a fucking crystal store with a fucking Social Supreme in it.
She looks like one of the Nerds characters that, Disney put out with the big glasses and everything. Like the beanie and the glasses and the whole thing.
Yeah, exactly. So that's cute, right? Again, yawn. And
Yeah, but she turned the gummies into M&Ms at the end. That was cool.
she made the ceiling leak honey. So it power. She made the maple syrup come out of the ceiling from Dormammu, so the suit worked. Let's get to the suit.
Okay.
In the original Ironheart run, I'm not pretending to be a subscriber of the Ironheart books or anything like that. So in
Got
the
some of the first appearances because they were worth something back in the day.
yeah, that just went that went out the fucking window. Sorry, scalpers. The original Ironheart run, obviously, like we said before, is tied to Tony Stark. Tony Stark helps her build the suit. That's why her suit looks the way it does. It was a semi-cool design, whatever.
It's like a female version of the Iron Man.
Yeah.
See it?
And again, we're going back toward
The red and gold. And
and it's around like Extremis time and all that stuff. So there's like microbots and nanotech and all that kind of shit, right? I understand, to keep it a little bit different from Iron Man, they made her a little bulkier.
Yeah.
A little more like Warhammer 40K.
I was going to say, yeah.
Wakanda
It's a
kind
little
of.
War Machine. Yeah, you get
A little more
bit
War
of those
Machine-y, which is
elements to it.
which is cool. I get it, right? Whatever.
The fans kind of bugged me in the first one, but that's okay.
Yep. And it's going to be a little bit of a spoiler, but, that suit that, is, I guess, not left over from Wakanda Forever because I think it gets broken in Wakanda Forever. She makes a new one at MIT, right?
Yes, she basically took all the tech with her
Yeah.
from MIT.
Which was awesome because when she leave in MIT, not to rewind a little bit, but she just happens to be walking out of the hangar where the classroom is at MIT. I don't remember any hangar. I don't really know a lot of hangars out in Cambridge and Dorchester, but and there's like the boot just sitting on the ground. She just steps in the boot and takes it with her, and that get the fuck.
The stuff's just laying around the lab.
Yeah. Fuck you.
It was kind of a kick in the head, the little pencil AI. That actually made me laugh.
The one that was like the clipboard from Office.
It looked like clipboard.
The AI. Hold on, before we get into the suit, I got a bitch about the AI.
Yeah, the clipboard. That one kind of made me laugh. The fact that MIT was advanced enough that they could just shut her down.
Yeah, I did like the
remotely.
fact that MIT had the technology to create a animated cartoon AI that powers an Iron Man armor just sitting around. I do like that. It's
proprietary to the school.
I mean, it was probably written so it could just download your schedule to your Apple Watch. Yeah. But it can power an Iron Man suit, right? Yeah, of course. Why not?
So.
Again, lazy. This whole fucking show is so fucking lazy. They replaced the Stark AI component with her dead best friend. And it is the most...
It was a weird pull.
Fucking annoying.
It's...
stupid fucking thing, I think, in any of these MCU shows. And there's been some dumb shit in these fucking shows.
The only thing I can come back to is she doesn't have any other relationships if you don't do that.
Because it's a character so piss poor. They haven't bothered to write in any connections for her.
None of the other characters, including her own mother,
care.
Really tie back. Like, that's her one sounding board in the whole show.
It should have been Tony.
Yeah. You couldn't afford Tony.
You could have done an animated Tony, like a blue outline.
Do it like from the What If Tonys.
You could have got Nolan North, who does the voice for Iron Man, all the video games and shit. You have to get Robert Downey Jr.
Something like that.
So again, the AI thing bugged and then she can project herself and you can see her. It looks like she's a real and then don't get me
My
started.
guess is that Downey's contract prohibits, if it's any MCU proper, I'm guessing there's probably an exclusion for the animated shit. And you saw what it takes just to get him back to do anything.
Yeah, but at this point in time, you already paid him God knows what for Doom. Like, tell him to fucking pound sand. Like,
I mean, they've been working on the series before it was announced last year. Yeah.
Frustrating as shit. Okay, so she goes to build the new suit at the end of because of course every superhero show has to have the new upgraded suit to fight the bad guy at the end.
Gross.
Which you already need a new upgraded suit because her bad guy was fucking horrible. Right? All you actually needed was the fucking...
you need the magic nerd.
You need a handful of maple syrup from fucking the ceiling from...
Magic nerd could have helped.
Magic nerd, right?
He's fine.
And that shut him right the fuck down. Didn't need a suit at all. Didn't need the new fucking suit at all. How does she...
No, it's like a fucking hologram.
How does she build the suit? She takes apart like a fucking 1977 Challenger.
With a bunch of stuff from the junkyard. So we're talking an entire vehicle made out of fiberglass and aluminum. And she makes an Iron Man suit, a suit of armor, right? Sleeker, with more lights and gizmos and doohickeys than anything fucking Tony Stark. And you get to see that wiring harness. That didn't look that intricate.
My proton pack has a more intricate wiring harness.
Yeah.
That wasn't even wire. Those were tubes.
I didn't bump into how she was making the suit as much, like the piecemeal part of it.
Yeah. And her mom, who's like a fucking secretary, is over there fucking welding and shit.
More because
the 8-year-old kid's fucking like sewing and shit. Get the fuck out of here.
Because I had Father staying in my head. All I kept hearing was, Tony Stark built this in a cave in the desert.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah, he used scrap to get out the first time.
He did, but
his also fell apart.
But he had scrap.
Half a mile in.
But he was also taking apart like all his high-end missiles and all these high-tech weaponry systems with like fucking homing beacons. And she took apart a car that had an 8-track player in it. It didn't even have fucking Google CarPlay.
His thing fell apart after it hit altitude.
Yeah.
He didn't make it very far.
So, this show is horrible, but you did get Mephisto out of it, right?
And you got Sacha Baron Cohen.
I love Sacha Baron Cohen. I love him in almost everything he's ever done, going back to Borat. I
think he's perfect in this
I think he's brilliant. He looks the best character for him to play. I love that I go to MCU memes. I was fucking laughing my ass off, right? He's Ghost Rider's bad guy. He's not Ironheart's bad guy. I understand they did a little bit time later on or whatever.
Yeah, he's popped up in other
He's popped up in everything, right? He's Ghost Rider's bad guy. Save him for Ghost Rider. You could have put him in he would have made more sense in the Agatha show.
There was rumors that he was in the Agatha at one point.
It's like this is a greater MCU problem. Like, I understand the books, they all, like, every now and then you read a book, like, oh, fuck, dude, Punisher fucking dipped into the fucking, like the fucking X-Force book this week.
Yeah.
Or this month. That's cool. Everything has to be this fucking connected fucking bullshit.
They're just trying to
by trying to tie everything together, and by crisscrossing people into places they don't need to be, you are destroying your fucking product.
Everything that made it special, they've kind of they had a couple flops, and now it's almost like they're reverting to the DC. Now we have to catch up and do it all fast. Yeah. So let's just start jamming. What do we have next on the schedule? Oh, we can totally make him the big bad. Like, we got 5 episodes. We need him.
And he's not even a big bad, because like you're not going to do like some like big movie event with him, because number one, you already have your movie events planned down the road. What's he going to be at the TV big bad? So what do you have, like fucking like...
That's a character that's just going to pop into...
Wanda's fucking
around.
kid
Yeah.
and Agatha fighting fucking Audrey Plaza and Mephisto. Who the fuck is going to watch that shit?
And we've left that fucking thread. We had the Agatha show, but you've left WandaVision...
Agatha sucked.
Just sitting there.
Yeah. Oh, there's a new Vision show now too with the girl Vision bad guy robot. I'm already done. I'm done with MCU shows. I'm done with MCU shows with people with powers. If there's superpowers or magic or fucking suits of armor involved, I want nothing to do with it anymore. Give me guys who punch and kick and shoot guns.
So definitely not magical suits of armor.
Nah, I'm gonna pass on that.
That kind of threw me.
I'm gonna pass on. I'm gonna pass on
that whole scene where she's fighting.
Pass on the honey armor. I'm gonna pass on it.
And it looks like Strange just threw up over the room. I'm like, huh. That's not how I saw that going.
If I wasn't 3 beers deep and it wasn't midnight, I would have kicked my fucking coffee table if I was so upset.
Thankfully, I watched that with coffee this morning.
It was just it was just so horrible. And again, your daughter's like, oh, it was cute.
Yeah.
My daughter was like, oh, it sucks.
It was fine for her, but she's standing at the table making a puzzle, watching it in the background.
Yeah, she's listening to it. And again, this is another show where, again, it's been confirmed. From whatever you say, like Rotten Tomatoes is a fucking racket anyway, right? It's not a reliable source of information.
It's like going to Car and Driver.
People have already, it's already been confirmed that they're deleting negative reviews to bump the score up on it. If you haven't seen it, I obviously implore you, if you are a fan of comic books, to watch it yourself and form your own opinion. However, if you are pressed for time, I will save you that 6 hours. It's a piece of shit. Don't watch it. Just fucking forget. Riri Williams can go away. It's a horrible character. It was a horrible script.
The story was so thin. It just wasn't. The motivation for the Hood didn't make much sense.
The ragtag bunch of people working for the Hood sucked. They kill Eric Andre 5 minutes into the fucking thing. He was like, I thought, oh, there's going to be some saving grace. Eric Andre's in it. No, he's dead.
He was there for 5 minutes, 7 minutes. Yeah, he wasn't there very long. He disappeared basically as soon as Riri entered the picture.
It's so bad. It's so bad. Why do they keep doing this?
That's the thing. You just nailed it. That's my biggest question with all these is why?
Why? And I feel like we're seeing this a lot with all this Marvel stuff.
Okay, if you're telling me that it's because you needed Riri for the Young Avengers, you haven't even announced that yet.
You're never going to get to it.
You've been rumored to do that?
Haley Steinfeld's going to be 40 fucking years old before you even announce it. What's so young about that?
How long ago was that Hawkeye show? 5 years now?
Seems like it has been a while. It was right after COVID. So yeah, about 4 years.
Yeah, 4 or 5 years. So
And not only that, none of these people were in the fucking Young Avengers. I just want to point that out. The Iron Man character in the Young Avengers is not fucking Riri Williams. It's Iron Lad. It's not Riri Williams. Riri Williams is in no way, shape, or form any type of Avenger.
you're trying to, with any of these shows, going back to that Hawkeye show, going to this one, you're trying to get that young female demographic. That's
You know when the young female,
really where you're coming.
You know when the young females popped into the MCU stuff? You know why they were there? The one honest line in the entire fucking show was her friend Natalie, when she's watching the video, what would you do with the Avengers here? It's like, I just want to play a Thor in his hammer. That's why the young ladies showed up for the MCU. Because Chris Hemsworth without his fucking shirt on.
Yeah.
Everybody wants Thor's hammer, even the guys.
More Helmsworth and, put Scarlett back in the suit.
Exactly. That's what we want. Recast Steve Rogers. Like if you have to. Anthony Mackie, not working out. Riri Williams,
That
not
whole
working
story
out.
just didn't work. It's
That whole
that
fucking
Captain America.
Red
movie
Hulk,
did
not working out. She-Hulk, not working out.
It's stunt casting of this.
God, not working. Like none of this shit works. You know what works? Tony Stark, Steve Rogers,
And you know what?
Bruce Banner.
Sometimes you just need to go away for a little bit. They did it with Batman.
Take 6 years off.
That's it. And then reboot with a Christian Bale con. It's not hard.
Avengers New Beginnings, coming to you summer 2030.
What's scary is they're almost treating it, and this is as hard I'm going to go on it. They're almost treating it like Sony does with Spider-Man, where we have to pump something out.
That's a super good analogy.
So we're going to do Craven. We have to
Which is funny because Sony,
they own it.
Oh my God, Craven.
You don't have to do it.
I watched Craven on the plane when I was
God
coming from
bless
California.
him.
Fuck movie.
I couldn't do it.
I know, because that's your boy. You must have fucking been sick to your stomach.
I
It's so
adore
bad.
that storyline so much. I couldn't bring myself to watch it. Like just watching the previews, I'm like, this isn't the character.
No, and it's like Sony does what they do because they had to contractually keep the rights going.
Yes, they're required to release one every year. To
Marvel
18 months
doesn't.
or
They
whatever.
don't. Marvel is Marvel. They don't need to do that. And you're not just like, oh, we're just making a little bit of money. No, you're not. You're losing money on all these fucking things.
You're pumping it onto the streaming service. You can't even quantify.
You're not selling Riri Williams action figures or Funko Pops or T-shirts.
How many more subscribers do you think you pulled because of Riri Williams being on TV?
I mean, if I wasn't already signed up for the year, you would have lost at least one.
I got it bundled with Hulu and shit. I need the other stuff.
No. They're just digging their own fucking grave. And again, I love comic books. I love superheroes. I have an unnatural attachment to fictional characters, but I love the good superheroes.
You would think.
I love the good comic books. And your refusal to just take a break and recast the big guns is what's doing you in.
I'm going to go a step further. The refusal to actually take the comic book seriously and do anything to buttress that industry. Here's the thing. You own the whole thing. It's not like you have these characters licensed, right? So you could do this correctly from the books.
Slow roll it.
Slow roll the whole thing.
We're talking about the Fantastic Four, just restart the entire thing in that 60s era and go first class X-Men, all this stuff. And
I'm so curious to see how that shakes out because there's a little part of me that thinks Disney may have screwed themselves by trying to fuck over Box and everything.
Yeah.
Where they just shut down the books. They shut down. Fantastic Four ceased to exist for a good period
and
of
the
time.
X-Men, they sterilized they took away all the mutants.
So.
Yeah. Not good. It's not good. And again, and you get, he just hates Marvel because he likes Batman and Superman. I do love Batman and Superman more, but here's the thing. I love Daredevil. I watched Daredevil without my fucking pants on.
Daredevil was a top 5 character. Iron Man was always a top 5 character for me. I love him.
I'm saying the live action stuff. Daredevil show, phenomenal. Punisher, phenomenal. Hawkeye was phenomenal. When you do it right, it works.
I watched all of Iron Fist. I watched every episode of every one of those Netflix shows.
And they fucked that one up too, but you gave him a pass. But you gave him a pass because it was running.
Got me to Defenders, and I love the other 3.
And it was running concurrent with the other one. So it was like, okay, this sucks, but at least eventually he's going to bump into fucking Luke.
And there was a couple characters that are like, exactly. Those are going to get together, and we're going to get to the.
And Jessica's coming back. Kristen's coming back. So it's like
love Jessica.
It's not like we're just shitting on. We're shitting on the stupid Marvel stuff.
A little aside, Jessica, Kristen Ritter is in the new Dexter series.
Oh, is she?
She is one of the Neil Patrick Harris. It's basically a little aside. Sorry, I digress.
Fine, we're fine.
Peter Dinklage is a billionaire who's basically doing it seems like a Clue type thing. He invites a bunch of serial killers to his house. Kristen Ritter is one of them. Dexter is one of them. Neil Patrick Harris is one of
I
them.
might have to watch that.
Eric Stonebreaker from Modern Family.
Oh, yeah.
He's one of the serial killers.
You're going to let me know if I can watch that without being caught up.
Oh, yeah. I will.
Okay.
I think you can, as long as you know the Dexter character.
Yeah.
Enough of it, I think you'll be fine. Yeah, the cast looks phenomenal.
That's cool. Yeah, so again, I don't hate all the live action stuff. It's just when you do make these stupid fucking choices, I don't get it. And the other thing too is, it can't be fucking. We always bitch like Disney park attendance is down and streaming numbers are down, and you can't tell me you're making any money off this shit. You're making horrible fucking decisions, both universe wise and economically.
This seems like it was something that was on the calendar. It was already slotted to be that connective piece before you get to it, and they just pushed forward with it.
And we haven't talked about it, but I have this theory. I think I mentioned before that, so now you're at a point where streaming, right? And it's not just Disney. We're talking all these streaming services, right? Yeah. Paramount's already blown their fucking Star Trek load. Disney's fucking blown the Marvel load, all this stuff, right? Nickelodeon load, all that. Everyone's balls are empty, basically, right? We'll just say that, right? You're at the point where I think you're gonna start seeing hey, yeah, Disney Plus. But hey, when the new Marvel show starts, if you want to watch it from the first 3 months, you're paying more, $9.99 or whatever. And you're going to find out that some of these shows aren't going to generate any fucking money.
I will give Netflix credit because they're one, even if a show is a hit, if their internal numbers don't show it, we're done after a year.
Yep.
We could love and hey, why didn't you bring that back? Just wasn't tracking.
Yep.
And we'll move on to the next thing.
Yep.
It's obviously as much as we were talking about Squid Game before, and it is very much the same thing again, and you get some of the motivations behind it and stuff, and now that thing looks like it making... You ever going to watch season 2?
No. I watched the first 3 and I was like, it's the same shit.
It looks like... Or season 2 and 3.
I found
they split it up.
Where they finally... I watched where he had the guys tracking the fucking slap bag guy.
Yeah. You end up with Kate Blanchett playing that in an alley in Los Angeles.
The American one, right? Yeah.
So it's...
And I'll watch it because Kate Blanchett's an amazing fucking actor.
You could end up going into and doing another season of it. But Netflix is pretty good about God bless her. Nicole Kidman pops up once a year.
Yeah.
In whatever Psycho Bitch book dropped that summer.
Yeah.
And they do a 6-episode arc and she's gone.
And that's another thing too. The thing with the MCU is you were filling these characters with top tier acting talent. And now you're just... And obviously, I love, Catherine Hahn, I love Aubrey Plaza, but it's you're not dropping top tier talent in these shows anymore. Now,
Haley was an exception. Haley was...
Yeah, she was. But in that one, you had Renner back, right?
And now she's probably too expensive.
Yeah, and she's going to age out of the Young Avenger thing. She's 35 now, whatever, 30.
Is she that much? Yeah. She was a baby in Pitch Perfect. Oh,
I know.
That's a good question.
Pitch Perfect 2 was first time. But anyway... which, by the way, I saw Josh Allen was doing a private signing. I want to send in a 4K copy of Sinners to get autographed so bad. What was I going to say? So now you're in the point where I understand you got the guy from Hamilton, but he is a Broadway commodity. He's not a movie star commodity.
No, he did that In the Heights movie, but that was Broadway. He started in on Broadway before.
So
she's 28 right now.
Oh, 28, is she?
She was a baby when she made those.
I read. I was saying by the time they got around to using her, she'd be 35.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. And I do. I adore her.
1996. Jesus.
It's just Jesus Christ. I'm old. My hip just hurt. It's just the mission returns all across the board, every which way you look at it.
You waited too long, right? Because I'll go back to the Hawkeye show. Mm-hmm. It was cute as hell. You brought Kingpin in at the end. It was fun. I got it.
Yeah. And then instead of rushing into a second season of Hawkeye and building out that momentum, you gave us that horrible fucking Echo show that didn't need to happen.
You didn't need to do any of that.
No one... I hope David Mack got a little check and bought himself a jet ski or something. No one wanted a fucking Echo show. No one gave 2 flying fucks about Echo.
I hope David Mack got a check.
I hope so.
One of the nicest humans on earth. He's jacked to the gills.
Yeah. So I'm right now. I'm out on MCU, and
I just want them to take your time. Mm-hmm. You don't need to rush this, right? Put something out because there's a reason to put it out, not just because you could have got Mephisto into whatever movie you wanted to. Hey, you built an entire universe by having to give us the backstory of all these people. You couldn't take 10 minutes at the beginning of one of these movies that's basically all you got at the end. Yeah. Huh? I mean, I liked how they did it. I love the idea that he's taking you out for pizza to work on the deals, That's fine. But you didn't need a whole series to get there. And you had already introduced the character. So if you wanted Ironheart, you honestly could have, you already had her in the world, right? You could have brought her into a Young Avengers again with that much of an explanation. Mm-hmm. She's been off at MIT doing the thing. You didn't need the story.
Yep.
So, unless you have grand plans for the Hood. I mean, I don't know.
He's dead. Well, no, I guess he's not. He's depowered.
Did you watch the post-credits?
Yeah,
scene?
he's depowered. He shows up at fucking hipster. That's why I think you're going to Strange Academy.
But his face is still all fucked up.
Well, because he tattooed it. Because he was tattooing the lines. I think you're going to go into, again, I think they're going to, well, I don't think they're going to have, I think the plan was to do Strange Academy, and they're going to realize that the numbers aren't going to be there.
And you want to talk about a deep cut? Like, how many people are going to watch Strange Academy? Like, that's...
I mean,
you and I know of it, but...
The number one pop for a while when the Strange movie came out, because people thought, like, we're prospecting it, but it didn't hold.
Yeah.
Okay, so, now that I've completely probably, like, tuned out anyone who likes...
Full rant.
Oh, my God, yeah, I want to score surf, sorry.
You went double barrel.
Anyway.
Balls are empty.
Let's go ahead and get into Mount Fanmore.
Mount Fanmore. All right, so what are you thinking this week?
Well, if anyone didn't watch our last 2 episodes, 2-parter on our summer vacations, we brought back Mount Fanmore due to popular demand. And it's just easier to say than that other thing we were trying to do.
Yeah.
So, Mount Fanmore. Top 4 Marvel characters that should have gotten a show over Ironheart. Or Agatha Harkness or any of this other bullshit they've done.
All right, so... I'm just going to lead off because I know it's on both of our lists, and we kind of talked a little bit about it. I would go with Gambit.
100% Gambit. Yep.
I think that's one, especially now, and I know you're bringing him back. Mm-hmm. So Channing's in the world now.
Yeah, they're probably going to die real quick, but nonetheless.
But that's something you could do early year Gambit. DH him, put him down in the bayou, and let him.
And it basically would have been like a crime drama. It would have been a thief thing.
Yeah. Oh, most
like
certainly.
A Robin Hood-y kind of setup.
Exactly. You can see him as like that petty thief kind of thing, not using the powers, but not always using the powers. New Orleans is a perfect setup. Yeah. Like it's a perfect backdrop, one of those shows. But it's one of those things that it ties into your X-Men, which is obviously coming. You're going to be doing all of that stuff.
The character has the built-in fan base.
You have a built-in fan base. He's always been one of the most popular ones. And you have the perfect actor doing it. Like, you have star power there. So you have a draw.
And he still looks like he's in his fucking 20s because the guy is a fucking marvel.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I still don't know how he screwed up the whole thing with Jenna Dewan, but whatever.
Hey, shit happens.
We'll leave it alone.
What happens when you get married young?
Yeah.
It gets boring quick. Anyway. Okay, cool. That's a very good poll. My first poll is... So Gambit came around in the 90s, right? Like late 80s, early 90s. Like you said, fan favorite character. Another fan favorite 90s character. God, that's like too much drinking here for the July. Another fan favorite 90s character that doesn't need to connect into anything. You could do a very easy one-off show with is Darkhawk.
Oh, Darkhawk would work, yeah.
Like, yeah, he's got a suit. It's not like an Iron Man suit. Would have been very limited CGI. And you could have done something really cool with him. And again, he doesn't need to touch anything. Sleek, very 90s looking character, very cool character. Again, could be completely off on his own fucking bubble and doesn't need to tie in anything and could just be a really fun, fucking cool sci-fi show.
That's a really good one.
Thank you. I do try once in a while.
That's a really good one. I like that.
And again, you might not have heard of them, but go to a comic book convention and hold up in the air a copy of Darkhawk #1. You're gonna get 20,000 Darkhawks.
Yeah, everybody knows Darkhawk.
People just love sneaky good character.
That's one I know. I have the first appearance.
Yeah,
and I didn't have a really good reason for why I should be buying it.
It was just the most 90s book at the time.
Yeah,
because everything was like dark or night something. It's everything. Was like everything was black.
Very much so. Now you're gonna laugh. And this, I kind of went back and forth, and I'm going to throw 2 of them out there.
Okay.
Because they're kind of in the same world.
Okay.
I think you could have totally done a Steve Rogers Nomad run.
Okay.
But the other one that I also thought of, and I hate the fact that they bastardized him in other areas, it seemed perfect, and it kind of comes off of like a Winter Soldier type of vibe. I would have loved to have seen a U.S. agent.
Oh, yeah. Instead of that.
I think you could have had the government-controlled Captain America and you could have brought other characters into it. You don't necessarily it doesn't have to be a Cap.
Could make a cameo of a week kind of deal. Yeah.
A short run kind of thing that establishes that character in the MCU. But we've seen it now.
Instead of shoehorning him into that horrible Captain America show.
And he wasn't, God, he's never been portrayed as the badass that he was, right? It's just, you could have done more with the character. Yeah. And it's Cap without morals.
Yeah.
It writes itself, right?
Yeah, 100%. Good pull. Okay, so some of these I did pick because you don't have to tie them into other things. You can kind of do them off their own. Another very, very unknown character, known to big comics fans, but not to the average person, Sleepwalker.
Wow, you're going deep cuts.
Oh yeah, I'm going way off the fucking grid. Sleepwalker, really, really fucking cool character. Again, you could kind of do like a like some horror-y kind of themes, a little X-Files kind of action kind of thing. And again, he doesn't need to tie into any of this other shit, so you can kind of develop him off on his own. And then if he pops, you can always drag him in after the fact. Mm-hmm. And again, it gives you another kind of show. Because like Agatha tried to give you another kind of show with all the witchcraft and shit, but then they got sucked into the, Wanda was in the 50s and had to tie into all this other shit, and it kind of fucking ruined it. So you could do Sleepwalker, and it would be like its own fucking kind of thing.
I like that. My head, when you first threw this thing at me too, I started going down the line, and this is where the Gambit thing popped up, of some of your smaller players around your bigger properties.
Oh, I have those too.
Something like Magic popped into my head.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Magic, yeah.
And that's something, I hate to say it because, not that we're trying to shit on the young girl demographic, but that would tie right into.
But when they did,
and that gives you a segue into the X-Men.
Exactly. They've done Magic. If everyone doesn't know, is Colossus's baby sister. Yep. Colossus, the metal guy from the X-Men. They did her in the New Mutants movie that was kind of like sandbagged during COVID, and played by Anna Taylor-Joy, right?
Yes.
Which looks exactly fucking like her, and they did her proper in that shit too. So
I love her as an actress.
And again, you could do that show, and you could have done it without tying into anything, not even tying into the X-Men stuff, because for the longest time, she was off on her own, separate from Peter.
Yes.
Pietro.
Yeah. There's a whole side story there that you could
exactly. Tell. So again, so I kind of like that more. Like, what can you do without having to fucking worry about bringing in, your Captain Americas and your Iron Mans and shit like that?
Yeah, you can.
So she's 100%.
You could build up that whole thing before you ever had to have her interface with the X-Men.
Yeah, and if you wanted to say, okay, she's not a mutant, she doesn't tie into the X-Men, she's magical, that's fine, whatever.
That's fine.
With the name, it doesn't bother me that much.
And the other thing I was trying to think of, and we'll get into this. I want to know your list. Think about what you lost in the MCU, our dearly departed, and which characters could backfill some of that stuff. So it's probably one near and dear to your heart, but I'll save it for my next one in case you don't use it.
Okay. So again, I'm thinking like Darkhawk would be like this cool kind of sleek sci-fi show. Sleepwalker, a little extra. So I'm thinking of different kind of shows because these seem to all just be like one note fucking bullshit fucking series going forward.
Very much so.
So you need some comic relief in there, right? What if you ended up doing like an Office, like a Parks and Rec kind of style comedy series with Damage Control?
Damage Control would be great.
So Damage Control, everyone doesn't know, are the guys who clean up the fucking mess from all these superhero fights.
What was the name of it? There was a DC version of that because they did a show with Vanessa Hudgens.
Powerless.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, that was one with Thomas. Bruce Wayne's cousin Thad Wayne.
They did it for like one season.
It was fucking Ron Funches was on it.
Yeah,
and,
the entire thing was they were the ones that go in and clean up after the superheroes fuck everything up.
So you could do Damage Control, which they've hinted to it. Like in theory, I guess you could say Michael Keaton in Spider-Man, like the guys who work for him were Damage Control, right? They had all the Chitauri scrap, but so you know how funny it would be to have like basically a bunch of guys, you get like the guys who wrote Community or something, right? And just these guys, just every week it's like, they get everything done. Then all of a sudden, Hulk rips through a fucking, like a shopping mall or something, and
then they have to start over again.
Exactly. Yeah. It would be, and you could, everything would be like a, like a Curb Your Enthusiasm kind of like theme song, like fucking well into the next week and shit like that,
So I like that one. I like that one a lot. This next one I thought of, and this is my replacement thing. Okay. So we spent all this time talking about Tony. Yeah. Like the one glaring hole, you're kind of doing it with Reed.
Okay.
But you're missing your resident tech genius kind of spot. So I was thinking around building something on the back of Forge. Going that way.
I love Forge.
That seems like you could do a backstory there where he kind of backfills that role in the larger when you need it.
But
it seems like you could do some, and it's, for what we know about the character, this is kind of a blank slate.
Yeah.
You can do a lot with that.
100%. And for anyone who doesn't know, Forge is is a Native American mutant from the X-Men. Starts off in the future, teleports back to modern times. He is a technopath, which basically means anything he can think of, he can create.
He can create or build, yeah.
Yeah. So if you've ever seen Sky High, Gwen Grayson from Sky High, same thing.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, 100%.
I had to think about it because I haven't seen Sky High in a while.
Good flick. Yeah, no, Forge would definitely be cool. 100%. I'd be all for that.
I tried to stay away from some of the obvious ones that they've already used, like back in the books, like Squirrel Girl and those things.
Oh, yeah, I saved from all that shit too.
Yeah. They've already kind of used those as like a little event.
Yeah, and Squirrel Girl, they'd be too tempted to start pulling in all the other shit, right?
Yeah.
I try to keep everything off on its own island. Okay, so I have 2 left. How many do you have left?
Okay. One. I could do another one if we needed to, but
so I'm gonna do one just as a like a sentimental pick.
Okay.
So as we're doing different kinds of shows,
I wonder if this is gonna be the same one.
Maybe if you did so, good, buddy of ours who's no longer with us, probably would have loved to see a Jack of Hearts show. Some kind of like rom-com-y kind of style show with Jack of Hearts.
Jack of Hearts would be amazing.
The guy could never get shit together, pretty much kind of stuff. You could kind of like, you could kind of mold him to the modern day.
Johnny would have
loved that shit.
Thrilled.
Yep. When the Hall used to do auctions, every big, Jack of Hearts.
He would bring it up exactly. And they cost $5 every fucking.
I know. It would just be some fucking.
He had so many copies of that damn book.
Fucking 100 of them. It's like,
oh my god.
But I mean, they did mold, like, it started off being like some like goofy fucking character, and they did kind of mold it, and like he's changed over the years, and
it's
work.
A comic thing. Like he can't control his powers. He's just a mess.
Yeah.
He's just an absolute mess.
So you could do some kind of thing where it's like I said, like a rom-com kind of show with what happens to the meta-human who can't control his powers as he goes on like Tinder dates and shit like that. You could do something goofy like that. Put him like She-Hulk's world or something.
It would be very much in that She-Hulk type tone.
Yeah.
Right? Which, you know what? That She-Hulk, after watching Ironheart, actually, went up a couple notches.
Oh, a shit ton of notches.
Yeah.
She-Hulk
and I liked it. I thought it was okay.
She-Hulk has jumped the fucking ladder big time over the last few shows.
I mean, I love the fact that we brought the ruler of hell in, but it's just such a goofy way to do it. Whatever.
Yeah.
The only other one that I had on my list that I was thinking, and it's going back to the well, but I think it's been long enough. Okay. I think you could easily do a Howard the Duck show now.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Just not with Steph fucking Rogen's voice. I don't want to do that shit.
You don't have to do that, but I think that's one, if there are fans out there, it could even be him, that would treat that material seriously. And that's the thing. You want somebody that's going to take the character seriously, but still be playing in that goofy realm. You know what I'm saying?
Can we still get duck tits? Yeah. So, I mean, I'm 100% on board with that. And now you're hearing rumors that he's not being considered a part of Secret Wars or Doomsday.
Okay.
So good. Do a Howard the Duck show with just him walking around, pissed drunk, bitching and moaning that he's not part of Secret Wars and all the shit that happens because of it.
Yeah.
And now he's left to deal with everything else because he's not part of Secret Wars.
And then that's one of those little recurring characters you can just airdrop in when you need. It's a cameo in the background.
Yeah.
Or he's, it's the old Law and Order kind of thing. He becomes the guy that leads you to the guy.
Yeah.
That leads you to, like, he's one of the informants that you're going to see him as, it would all tie.
Awesome. Good call.
I'm trying to think if there's anybody else, but I don't. Those are all the ones that jumped out at me. I mean, they have tons of big characters.
They do. But again, if this was DC, it'd be so much easier to do. Go ahead.
I would have loved to have seen just a Mephisto show. Like,
I mean,
people were clamoring for him to come years ago.
Still might be on the table.
It could be. Maybe that's the thing. And this whole Riri thing is going to get scrapped if they don't do Young Avengers. And that's the point. Because again, now we have a bankable star.
Yeah.
As this all powerful big bad in the MCU.
And I mean, you've only seen him for like 3 minutes, but there's zero doubt in my fucking mind is going to murder this role, whatever way they.
He's the ruler of hell. It's perfect. They gave you the one little shot in the spoon.
Yeah.
You got to see just a glimmer of his real face, but yeah.
And everyone's like, oh, Borat. Sacha Baron Cohen is sneaky and amazing actor. He's
Go
fucking
watch
stellar.
him he was in Sweeney Todd. Go watch him in freaking Les Mis.
He's if you're not down. Yep, Les Mis.
You don't even have to be a musical guy. He's excellent.
Yeah.
He does a lot of stuff.
He's really good. And they're divorced now, but he had a smoking hot wife for a while, too.
And, he got Rudy Giuliani to almost pull down his pants on camera. So.
This is true. This is true. Okay. My last one as we try to wrap this up.
Yeah.
We just talked about a while ago. Daredevil works out real well. Luke Cage works out real well. Punisher real. The street level characters work the best in this scenario, right?
Yeah. They're excellent.
So, and I get it. You can't just, you try to make things diverse and all that stuff, but sometimes you go way too far the other way and it gets out of whack and all this shit. Whatever. There's an African-American character that Marvel just refuses to acknowledge that they could easily drop into the street level shit. And you could retrofit him for the modern age and make him like an ex-UFC guy or something like that. And it would just work out great. Fucking Night Thrasher is one of the dopest fucking Marvel characters. I fucking love Night Thrasher. And then you could bring in fucking like the rest of the fucking New Warriors. You could have like Speedball show up with one episode and shit like that. And it would just be...
Speedball would be amazing.
Speedball is dope. But there you go. You get your African-American hero because you don't have a Black Panther anymore. And it's just him week after week kicking the piss out of people. Maybe Daredevil pops in. Maybe Will Coulter comes back and pops in one. Speedball pops in.
That's the thing that pisses me off because I still think
Michael Coulter. I keep saying Luke Coulter.
I still think, you're just conflating the two names. I still think they ended Luke Cage too quickly.
Yeah.
I love that show. I thought they did such a good job with that character.
It was so good. Michael Coulter killed it. It's probably why to me, he's so synonymous now.
You're using Night Nurse as the connective tissue. You have Rosario just floating between all three.
Give me Night Thrasher. It's the same thing on DC where they're like, I think I said back in the day when they're like, oh, we're doing Superman Black. Just do an Icon movie. Icon's dope.
You could have done the Night Nurse show.
Yeah, you could.
Which ties all those characters together.
Now you can't afford to do a Night Nurse show.
You can't afford a Ahsoka.
She's got that Star Wars money.
She's got all that money.
All that Star Wars money.
$150 an autograph.
Yeah, no shit. Jesus Christ. Thanks, Filoni. No,
I'll save the video on my phone. That's going to be enough.
There you go. That's good enough.
Yeah. All right. So we got to narrow this stuff down.
Okay. Gambit, Darkhawk, Nomad, U.S. Agent, Forge, Damage Control, Sleepwalker, Jack of Hearts, Howard the Duck, Night Thrasher.
All right. I want to go. I like where you're at with your more grounded.
Okay.
Right? So I totally think Gambit can be that show.
100%. Yeah. No, I think Gambit's right up there.
I think I can easily see that in the French Quarter kind of.
100%.
So I think you're doing that.
I'm not sold on U.S. Agent because we've already seen too much of them.
You've already seen that. But I kind of like the Nomad idea.
The Nomad idea is not horrible.
I like it because it's almost like Captain America combined with like Kane from Kung Fu. I picture him on the motorcycle roaming the country.
Well, the other thing too is like, I mean, granted, you'd have to get him back.
You would.
Can you get him back? But can you do it like it takes place like in the late 60s? Since he's gone back in time already with Peggy. Can you do it like during the 70s or something, the 80s? Can you have it
70 or 80s? Yeah, I think you could do the 80s.
Yeah. Be kind of Knight Rider-ish?
That's exactly what I was that's kind of the premise that I'm thinking. Like he's traveling the country, like solving these little crimes.
It's Renegade, but without Lorenzo Lamas.
It's Renegade. It's the A-Team without it's one guy on a motorcycle.
It's the A-Team.
It's that kind of a show, right?
Okay, so let's put him on the short list. I do like that. Yeah, just because like not modern day, I don't think you can do it. Because like, oh, it's Steve Rogers.
Nah, I don't think so. But I think it's more of a
you do it back when
thing.
He wasn't thought out, so no one knew who the fuck he was, kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah. Where Cap could step away and actually go do that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. What's your next?
I'm big on the Night Thrasher show, man. I'm real big on it.
I like the idea.
I'm big on that, and I'm real big on the fucking Damage Control comedy show.
I'm 100% behind that.
I'm real big on that one.
100%. That thing writes itself.
Just to make it different, just to do something different.
Well, and that's the easy sell because you can reference all the other characters. You don't need them.
No, and
you just name drop.
Like a CG like Spider-Man swing in the background and shit, like a Green Goblin.
It's a shadow.
You just have like the fucking Goblin glider on Spire crashed into a fucking Kmart or
You
something.
hear
They got to go clean it up.
and you hear the explosion off camera.
You never see the characters. You just see like the pumpkin bombs and the gliders and like the Hulk throwing cars and
It's a
shit.
relatively cheap show because you don't need the actual characters.
No, in Damage Control, there's no. You could just all get like your standard CBS.
I'm 100% behind that one. I think that's easy to do. I mean, good lord.
You know who I'd like to see be one of the guys, like the guy who like is running Damage Control?
Tudyk?
Someone like Luis Guzman or something like that.
Yeah,
It's one of those
I could
fucking
see
like
that.
really great comedy actors. Wouldn't cost you a fortune.
Like, this is one of those things that I see, like, Tudyk is part of the ensemble.
Oh, I love Tudyk. Anything he's
He can
in.
do anything.
Anything he's in.
I really like that one.
Okay.
The
Jack Harsing's not going to work, but that was a fun one.
That was
for Johnny.
And if we're going to do, I mean, if we're staying more street level, that kind of takes you out of the Magic and Forge.
It does, and it takes and the Sleepwalker stuff goes away too.
Yep, Sleepwalker goes away. It still leaves you Howard the Duck, though.
It does give you Howard the Duck and leaves you Darkhawk.
Howard the Duck is, you have a foul detective agency.
Yeah.
And he's kind of, you can play it, much like Damage Control, you can play and reference all the other characters. You don't really have to.
Noir-y kind of.
Totally. I think back to, and the one image that popped into my head was some of the variant covers. It's like him in the PI's office.
Yeah.
He's got the shirt on, his feathery tail still sticking out. But
Yeah. Yeah. So we got Howard and Darkhawk.
So we got 2, 4, 6. So we got to narrow it down by 2.
We got Knockout 2.
I think we're both of the mind that Gambit's on.
Gambit's on. Gambit's happening, right? That's 100%. Here's the thing with Nomad. Mm-hmm. Can you get Chris Evans back? You can't do Nomad, have it be Steve Rogers, and have it be a lesser guy. You're not getting Chris Evans to do a Disney Plus show.
I love the storyline, but you need him in that spot.
You know what that would make an excellent What If series. Just do a Nomad animated run.
Yeah,
but not a live action MCU show.
I could see that.
Just because you can't afford the talent.
Yeah, that's going to be the hard part there.
Because you'd have to bring what's his name back. Part is Howard Stark. You have to get Haley Atwell back. You have to get Chris Evans back.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of fucking dough.
Well, are all of them in that Nomad show? I'd have to go back and look at the book.
Well, I'm saying, but if it's like the 80s, Peggy's still alive. She's married to Steve. And Howard Stark's still around.
Yeah, Nomad's really when he broke away. So you almost have to keep it separate from...
They wouldn't do it, though. They would never fucking do it. They'd have to fucking milk everything together.
Yeah.
And you'd have to... And they would put some kind of fucking bullshit time travel thing in there, too, because he still got a stone or something like that.
Of course.
They'd make it where he's still returning one stone or some bullshit.
The entire MCU is built off
They'd ruin it.
time travel.
Because it's Steve Rogers, they'd ruin it on you.
Yeah.
So I think he has to...
Boo.
Boo.
I agree.
Boo, MCU.
Yeah, boo MCU.
You ruined Chris's Nomad show.
I had high hopes for that.
It was so close.
Long hair Chris Evans on a motorcycle with big aviators. It would look amazing. Actually, Nomad had more like those blue blockers.
Yeah. Blasting
Big
White
squares.
Snake on the back of a
Exactly.
fucking motorcycle.
Exactly, with like a dress shirt with the sleeves cut
Haley
off.
Atwell on the hood of a car.
Uh-huh.
Oh, God, something just moved. Hold on.
Playing his Tony Katane.
Okay, Gambit, Night Thrasher, Damage Control, Howard the Duck, Darkhawk. I think it's those first 4. I think Darkhawk's a little too nuts. Darkhawk was just
Yeah.
Darkhawk cost some money.
The others are easier. Yeah, that's going to cost some money, and that's a little bit of taffy to pull there. You got to explain
You do have
that.
to pull some...
It's
Again, Darkhawk might work better as an animated show.
Yep. I think you can totally, especially with the technology and everything, like a wisecracking duck. I mean, it's easy.
100%.
You could play that. Damage Control works like anything. I keep thinking of the wrestlers, though.
Yeah.
Every time you say Damage Control, I just picture Bailey.
And you could do it, like Howard the Duck would become almost like reverse Roger Rabbit, where he's the only cartoon and everyone else is fucking
Exactly.
live action.
Everybody else is live action. That's exactly where I was thinking.
It's like reverse Roger Rabbit.
Yep.
And he's the drunk and shit. It is.
It writes itself.
It's Duck Bob Hoskins.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Mount Fanmore of all the MCU shows that would have made way more fucking sense than this piece of shit show, Ironheart. Gambit, Night Thrasher, Damage Control, and Howard the Duck.
Love it. I would watch every single one of those.
Oh, yeah.
Every single one of those.
And they all would have been better. All would have been better.
And the entire time I'd be thinking about Nomad.
I know. I'm with you on it.
Chris Evans.
I just don't think. Yeah, number one, they can't.
They don't
afford
care.
it. Yeah,
Chris has moved on.
and they would have ruined. Even if they got him back, they would have ruined it on you. They would have stuffed it full of fucking chuffa.
Chris has moved on. He's good.
He's good. He's doing movies with like Pedro Pascal, where those two poor, beautiful bastards can't find love and shit like that.
Poor Pedro.
Makes no sense. Fuck him.
No,
I like Pedro Pascal. Just fuck.
he might have a free week one of these days because he's in every fucking movie.
He's in every movie. If you'd like to come on the show and tell
Please,
us why he's in every movie,
we would
Pedro
love-
Pascal,
yeah,
please hit us up
we
at
would love to
FANMEN37.
talk to you, 'cause-
We'll talk about why you didn't shave the mustache for Fantastic Four, but you did for.
My wife, who doesn't complain about anything, saw the Apple ad and she's like, "This fucking guy again? Like, really? He's everywhere."
I like the guy. It's just too much.
I do too.
I mean, hey, good for him. Make that money. I don't have any, so
Oh fuck! I would cash those checks.
I do it too.
I don't care what they put in front of you. Take the money.
I do it too.
Take the money.
Hey, everyone, thank you.
All right, kids.
Thank you for joining us. I know it's been a busy 3 weeks. We're going to get back on the weekly. Look forward to our Superman breakdown. And I swear to God, we'll be 100% fucking honest, by the way. Because if it's not good, no one's going to be more pissed off than me. As you can tell,
We've been waiting for years.
as you can tell, I'm not the most mentally, emotionally stable human being on the planet. So again, follow, like, subscribe. Please on the YouTube, please subscribe to the YouTube because we're trying to get the custom link and we're trying to do more YouTube stuff. Don't forget, we're on the Tiki Talk, FANMEN Podcast.
Ooh, Tiki Talks.
We're on the Instagram. We're on the Facebook. We're on
Everywhere
all
where
the
you
thing
get
where you
podcasts.
young whippersnappers are doing your socials.
So please follow, like.
Yep. And new fanmen.com website coming. We're moving some stuff around. We're going to try to get that.
Get some
up
Fan Men merch going. And
Yep. FANMEN Beyond logo coming to the t-shirt. And it's summertime. We're going to try to drag Sean out of his.
we'll get them back for
of
a
it.
few.
Yeah, we're going to try to drag him out of Studio 54 for 1 minute so we can record an episode. And
He's got to run out of Coke at some point, right?
just going to run out of electrolytes for Christ's sake. Jesus Christ.
Just Bindles and Pedialyte for that kid right now.
Seriously. Have a good night, everybody.
Do you gotta-